Hey guys, what's up? Dingocrikey here with another commentary video. This one is going to be on Transformers 5 and the following films. The topic for this one, 5 reasons why Bumblebee will never ever die in the Transformers films. So, I've been asked a number of times to give my thoughts on Bumblebee dying in Transformers 5. Is it possible? Will we see it happen? Will he die in the future films? I don't have any direct user names to mention in this video, but I know people have asked me about it before, and I did do a video on it way back, but I wanted to do a more updated video and a more detailed video, and as you can see by the title of the video, I'm clearly on the side of thinking that Bumblebee will not die in Transformers 5, or any of the films for that matter. And this isn't a video saying, do you want Bumblebee to die, or do I want him to die? This is just me looking at it objectively and giving my personal reasons why I think Bumblebee is safe for the Transformers live-action films altogether. Because we obviously have had a lot of character deaths in these movies, some characters just exit the movies without a whole lot of explanation, but most of them exit the movies by being killed off. And maybe if you're a Bumblebee hater, this kind of talk kind of ticks you off, but if you're a Bumblebee fan, maybe this stuff makes you feel really good, or maybe you don't believe it and you're just always on edge about Bumblebee. I should also note that I don't have any insider information or anything. These are just, my personal observations and speculations, but if you're only interested in news, straight up facts about Transformers 5, then you can probably go back right now because you probably won't be into this type of video. Anyways, here are my 5 reasons. Number 5, and this is probably has, like I would say, the least effect on, his mortality in the movies, and that is, he is one of the only 3 remaining characters from the original movie. Now, that isn't to say that all of those characters died. I mean, we do have some human characters who we never really had explanations for the exit, such as Sam and Michaela and Lennox, but as for the Transformers characters, at least, we just have Bumblebee, Optimus, and Galvatron, or Megatron. I mean, some people may think of, Megatron as being dead and Galvatron as a new character. I personally don't have that take on it, so I would say we have 3 surviving characters. If you do have different opinions, that's obviously totally fine in that, but, just my personal take on it. But going back to the human characters, I mean, even though those characters were never confirmed to have been killed off, I mean, they're basically out of the movies, and they're probably never going to come back, so not necessarily just looking at the fact of, us having characters who have survived all of the movies, but just to keep a somewhat consistent cast, because all we have are 3 characters who have been in all of the movies. They kill off Bumblebee, they're down to 2, and some people even question the Megatron and Galvatron thing. We may just have Optimus or something like that, and I'm not sure the movies would want to take that step, because they do a lot of crazy things. They've killed a ton of characters, but having no or very few members of the original cast survivors through all of the movies, it's probable they could do this. I mean, they do crazy things in the films. Personally, I'm not seeing it. That leads me to my number 4, and that is that killing him would take the movies into a very dark place. This is another one that I'm just kind of, feeling my way through, but I do think there's a little bit more evidence to support this notion. I mean, all signs have been pointing towards Transformers 5 being of lighter tone than the past 2 movies, outside of the fact that some of us think it could be called Faces of Darkness. It seems as if anything, it's going to be lighter because, for one, that's the direction they're taking with the new Robots in Disguise cartoon, and not just the cartoon, but also the advertising and the merchandise for the cartoon. So, we have that, the whole tone of Robots in Disguise, which, according to Hasbro's CEO, was kind of influenced by the fact that a lot of kids didn't respond that well to the darker tones in Prime. He didn't say that directly, but he basically said Robots in Disguise took some things from Prime that kids liked, and it took out some of the things they didn't like. So a lot of us are assuming that's, the darker tones, the character deaths, all that kind of stuff. So we have that, going for Bumblebee surviving. We also have the fact that Peter Cullen's already been making statements that he doesn't want Transformers 5 to be as dark as the previous film, that he had, a problem with saying some of Optimus's darker lines. I mean, they could have Optimus's character go in a lighter direction, as in he's not as brutal towards humans or Decepticons, that kind of thing, and, still have the rest of the story be a little dark and gritty in regards to, they could take a lighter tone with Optimus's character in regards to him feeling more like a traditional good guy and just make the villains even harsher, hence the death of Bumblebee. But even taking it out of that cornered space of thinking that Transformers 5 is going to take a lighter tone, is that Bumblebee has always kind of been the lighter character of the films. He's the fun one, he's the comical relief, yet he's really cool at the same time. He's, almost like that symbol of hope in the movies because, no matter who else gets killed, you always have Bumblebee. You also have a lot of new fans who really like Bumblebee. I mean, personally, I do like Bumblebee in the films. I'm not as crazy about him as everyone else, and, if he got killed, that would have a quite dark feel, especially if they were to give him like a Ratchet or Ironhide style death. I mean, that would be brutal to see. Anyways, yeah, I think it would take the films into a much darker place. Number 3 reason kind of has to deal with RID, and that is that Hasbro has been investing a lot into his character. I mean, obviously, we have the fact that they put out a ton of Bumblebee toys, and there doesn't seem to be any stop to that anytime soon. But, we also have the fact that they just made RID, and, we still have that going, and they're working on an upcoming spin-off film, which has been confirmed to be about no other than Bumblebee. If nothing else, the spin-off film at least secures him for Transformers 5. It could be a prequel film, but are they really going to kill him off and then have a prequel film about him? I mean, they could. I'm not seeing it happen. You guys can leave your thoughts on that, of course. But I don't feel like that would be good publicity for the Bumblebee movie. I think they're going to want it to be, kind of fun and happy. And if he's already dead, you probably wouldn't have that tone. Basically, it seems like with the future of Transformers, they're going forward with more Bumblebee than ever before. So killing him off, once they've invested that much in his character, they would need some backup plan. I mean, are they going to have someone like a Smokescreen from Prime come take his place? I mean, it would be hard to build up a character to that level again. And that brings me to my number 2 reason, which for me, this is a huge one, and that is Bumblebee needs to be there to replace Optimus Prime. And I don't want to sound morbid, but basically what we're looking at is Peter Cullen has been the main voice for Optimus Prime for the last 9 years, and clearly, when people think of Optimus, they think of Peter Cullen's voice. I mean, it's gone beyond the movies at this point, as he voices him in Robots in Disguise, he voiced him in Transformers Prime, I think he'll even do voices for him on commercials and for some of the toys and stuff. Basically, he is the voice for Optimus, and, it's definitely kind of sad, but, he's getting up there in years. He's 74 years old now, and, there's some people who do voice acting all the way into their 90s. I don't know if any of you guys have watched Forensic Files, but the narrator for that's been doing it since like 96, and he's still doing it, and I think he's like 92 or something like that, and his voice still sounds great for it, and there's been like hundreds of episodes of that, so, he could very well last for a very long time, and I hope he does. I mean, I love Peter Cullen's voice, seems like a great guy, all of that, but, I think Hasbro's taking this into consideration. They don't want Transformers to start bombing if, they don't have Peter Cullen doing the voice of Optimus. I mean, maybe at a certain point Peter Cullen will just get tired of doing the voice of Optimus. He's been in the role for a long time, and that would be, totally understandable. Basically in any scenario, they need something set up, because what are they going to do after, Peter Cullen, let's say he leaves the role as Optimus? They can't really just get someone to replace him, definitely not in the movies. Maybe in the cartoons and some of the other media, but it's going to be a weird transition at this point, and they definitely can't do that in the movies. I think what they may start doing, not necessarily in the movies, but kind of looking at the franchise as a whole, which, the movies would be part of, is that Optimus may start taking more of a backseat role, as we're seeing in the Robots in Disguise cartoon, and they'll start bringing Bumblebee more and more into the forefront, just as preparation. And I think eventually Bumblebee is going to kind of become the main character of Transformers, at least for the new and upcoming generations. Now, I mean, they could use another character as their big front runner eventually, but I would have to ask who. I mean, Megatron and Starscream are pretty big ones, but they're villains, so it wouldn't be either of them. And there's no other Autobot that is that big as Bumblebee. I mean, Bumblebee's probably even more popular than Optimus, at least with certain demographics, maybe not as a whole. I mean, obviously, if he comes into the forefront, we probably will expect him to get his voice back eventually, and them start to take his character a little bit more seriously, but I definitely think it's going to happen eventually, and they're going to start moving in that path. I think we're already seeing it, and I think it's another reason Bumblebee's safe. Also, number one reason, I think it trumps all, it's been in the background of every other answer. Bumblebee is an incredibly profitable, incredibly marketable character. Like, you just literally see Bumblebee everywhere. If something is Transformers, it's Bumblebee. You do have Optimus there, Grimlock, occasionally a character like that, but there's no denying at this point Bumblebee is huge. And, I don't have any figures, but I would guess it's been profitable for Hasbro, and he continues to be a profitable character because they keep putting Bumblebee out there. We get like a million different versions of him in every single line. A lot of times he's filling up the shelves, and some of us think, oh, Bumblebee's finally not selling. What happens with the next line? More Bumblebee. I mean, he's kind of like Hasbro's cash cow, so them killing him off, I mean, that would be a huge slam against them. I mean, sure, right after his death, they could probably release some Legacy of Bumblebee packs, and I'm sure some kids would, buy Bumblebee figures and, play with them and make Bumblebee kill, if it was Starscream who comes back and kills him in the movies, make Bumblebee kill Starscream and stuff, but eventually, not having him in the movies, having him being killed off, they're not going to be able to market him anymore, and, that's obviously would be a really bad strategy. I mean, we've got to think, as much as some of us more nerdy, geeky fans get into Transformers, the cartoons, the comic books, all that stuff, at the end of the day, Transformers is about selling toys. Same thing with Bionicle. That's, their first and foremost goal. In my observation, that's what's going to keep Bumblebee safe. I mean, we even have, some TV shows keep characters alive really, really long, and they're not about selling toys, but, that character could be really popular and probably sells them merch and stuff, too, and, they'll just keep them going and going for that reason. I mean, it's even more extreme with Bumblebee, or at least in my speculation, but, I mean, at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just some guy sitting at my computer with a microphone, a keyboard, and scrolling through internet articles, and seeing Bumblebee at Target every time I go. You guys, of course, can leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with these reasons? Would you have other reasons? Do you maybe have proof in your mind that Bumblebee will die in Transformers 5? Do you want him to become the main character of Transformers eventually? Be really disappointed by it? Any thoughts you might have on it? Drop them off in the comment section below, along with topic suggestions for future Transformers commentary videos. Could be kind of like list videos like this one. It could be, just a general Transformers 5 predictions video, maybe something on the Robots in Disguise cartoon, suggestions for figure reviews, whatever it might be. Drop it off in the comment section below. You can keep up with my channel for more videos like this, and follow me on Twitter for more updates on Transformer buys, Bionicle buys, manga, whatever I pick up at the store or whatever I'm doing, games I'm playing. If that interests you, then, check me out on Twitter. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, stay tuned, and have a good one.